Welcome back to another video. My name is Caitlin, and if you are new here, we talk about all things girly and all things smell good. So if you like that type of content, I hope you stay. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if that sounds like something you would like. So in today's video, this is a bit of a different-ish type of video than I normally share, but I am focused on one fragrance today, going over my thoughts on it. Is it worth it? Do I think it's worth a blind buy? Is it blind buy safe? Are the notes exactly what I get from it? Things like that. So today I'm going to be talking about This Is Her by Zadig and Voltair. So this is one that I had on my wish list for a while, and I kept seeing people mention this fragrance in a lot of like beast mode type videos or long lasting or like great vanillas, and that made me want to buy this. So I wanted to start off with talking about the bottle. So people complain about the bottle, but I freaking love it because it looks like a broken piece of crystal. So I did want to get a little bit of wear out of this before I made this video. I think I got this 3 days ago, roughly, and I do have a pretty good dent in it. So the box looks like this. Very sleek, clean. It has the name raised up on the box. I'm not sure what that's called. Like, it's kind of like the braille feel, but the bottle is super chic and clean looking. I think it's a really clean aesthetic. So the first thing I'm going to talk about before I get into my opinion on it are the notes. I'm going to go over the main accords first. So this is directly from Fragrantica. The main accords are vanilla, sweet, woody, balsamic, lactonic, powdery, warm, spicy, soft, spicy, and musky. So it looks like this fragrance was launched in 2016. So the top notes are pink pepper, silkwood blossom, and jasmine sandback. The middle notes are whipped cream, vanilla, and chestnut, and the base notes are sandalwood and cashmere wood. My thoughts on this fragrance right off the bat was very unique. It's a very unique type of fragrance that the notes that are listed they're pretty spot on, because straight away I definitely do get a little bit of that floral. I get a little bit of that jasmine. Now the jasmine stays through and through throughout the whole fragrance until that dry down where I get, maybe like an hour later is whenever I stop smelling a lot of jasmine. That's when the cashmere wood and the sandalwood really start to kick in and kind of take over. So I've seen a lot of people say that this is beast mode, super projective, super long lasting. I disagree with the fact that it's beast mode. I don't agree that this is super beast mode because this dried down to a pretty, not a skin scent by any means, but a pretty moderately projective scent. So I'm going to spray it on the box. So the first things that I get are definitely a bit of that pink pepper, but in like a very creamy kind of lactonic way. If you know me, you know that pepper and pink pepper notes are kind of tricky for me, because if it's too strong of a pepper note, I'm not a fan. I don't want something to feel tingly and like screechy in my nose. I'm not a fan of that. I like whenever things are very silky, very smooth. So that very first thing you get is definitely the pink pepper and the jasmine. I'm not sure what silkwood blossom smells like, but you definitely do start off with kind of a very sweet, lactonic, creamy floral. So in the middle notes, those were whipped cream, vanilla, and chestnut. So I definitely get in that dry down. As it starts to dry down, those top notes start to fade away. Those top notes start to fade away. You get that chestnut starting to come through. You get that whipped cream starting to come out even more, making it a little more creamy, a little more lactonic, more vanilla heavy. I want to give a good comparison to what this kind of reminds me of, to me, this almost smells like if By the Fireplace by Replica and Mont Blanc Signature had a baby. So if you know Mont Blanc Signature, it's a very creamy vanilla. I've talked about it a few times on my channel, but it's like a very creamy vanilla. It has a little bit of citrus in it with a little bit of floral. It's just a very nice, clean, creamy fragrance. So that mixed with By the Fireplace by Replica, where you really get that chestnut, you get that vanilla, you get a little bit of that smokiness, but in this it does not have the smokiness, but you really get that chestnut, that vanilla, almost like the lactonic marshmallow, melting marshmallow type of scent. So that is 100% from the very first time I smelled this what I thought of. I'm shaking the camera, sorry. So now we're getting into the dry down of it, where that sandalwood and that cashmere wood definitely starts to come through. I'm going to spray a little bit on my hand. Okay, so, I mean, it basically comes off the same as it does on the box as on me. It definitely stays true to itself. So, like I said, you start off with the pepper, the pink pepper, the jasmine. That's when the whipped cream, the vanilla, and the chestnut start to come out. And then the sandalwood and the cashmere wood starts to show itself. So, right now, the main things I'm getting are that chestnut, the whipped cream, the vanilla, with a little bit of that jasmine. So, my overall impression, because the notes are pretty spot on to what I get, but it's a very tricky fragrance. So in the best way, in a very good way. It's clean, but it's creamy and lactonic. It's dark and mysterious, but it's also light and airy. It's such a tricky one to describe because of how unique it really is. I've not ever smelled anything like this before. I have seen people say that, I think it's called Fields of Nightfall or Fields at Nightfall from Zara, is a dupe for this. I haven't smelled that one, so I'm not sure. But if you like a very creamy, lactonic, with a little bit of woodsiness, you get sandalwood. If you like sandalwood fragrances, the biggest thing is if you like creamy, lactonic vanillas, you will like This Is Her from Zadig and Voltair. I want to read you my review that I posted. So this is my Instagram post. If you're not following my Instagram, definitely make sure you do that. I will have that posted in the description. So I also want you guys to see my pictures that I did of this because I'm super proud of them. They turned out so good. So my review starts out, the description that the companies Zadig and Voltaire and the perfumers gave from this fragrance were to find a balance of something really clean and something darker, more mysterious, which is exactly what you get. You get some darkness from that chestnut, those woody notes, the sandalwood, but then it's still very light and airy and creamy and lactonic. So I said, I've been anticipating this fragrance for a while, dancing back and forth on whether or not it was worthy. She is. This Is Her is a bit of a roller coaster from start to finish. Upon first spray, it opens up with a hint of smooth pink pepper and jasmine, but instantly with a creaminess. A pepper note can be tricky for me, but this one has just the right amount of kick while nearly instantly smoothing out as the whipped cream starts to slide to the front. Throughout the whole journey, I find the jasmine dancing in the shadows in the back, never taking center stage but making her presence known. Once the whipped cream has taken over, the chestnut jumps in with a heavy vanillic twist, blending together seamlessly. The dry down is the most interesting part. As the sandalwood finally comes to play, This Is Her takes an almost intoxicating woody twist. As the sandalwood seeps through, the cashmere wood rides in like a silk sheet blowing in the wind. As the woodiness settles, the chestnut and whipped cream regains its ground and entangles into a stunning, intoxicating, lactonic, yet somehow mysteriously clean, edgy fragrance. This is incredibly unique. In my opinion, this is something that a mafia wife would wear, as it's just the right amount of sexy and mysterious, yet clean and slightly sophisticated. Many people say this is a beast mode fragrance. It's not. The sillage is just enough to leave a whisper of curiosity. My review is exactly 1000% my thoughts on this fragrance. So I won't go too much, I won't keep rambling on too much more about this. I'm so happy with this. The only issue I have, a lot of people are saying that this is beast mode, that this is very long lasting, but it is not. Do not get your hopes up for something that's going to project like a Montail or a Montail or Mancera fragrance or anything like that. That's not what you're gonna get. It's not a skin scent. It definitely projects within for like the first hour or so, but I would say after about an hour or so, the projecting dies down, at least on me. This is one that I want to let sit and macerate for a while, because if you don't know, the longer you let like a vanilla scent macerate, it just kind of amps it up a little bit. Basically like is distilling itself, you know, it just starts kind of getting deeper, like how you would want to let a wine or a brandy sit and age for a while. The longer you let it sit, the better it gets. So that's what I'm gonna do with this one. This is going to be good for all year, springtime, summertime, fall, winter. It's clean enough to survive spring and summer. If you guys hear something, there's giant piles of snow falling off the roof of my apartment. It's ridiculous. But this one, like I said, it's light enough that it's going to be good for spring and summertime. It's not going to be super overpowering, but it's also going to be, it is going to have enough depth to still be able to fall into that fall and wintertime category because of that vanilla, because of that chestnut, the sandalwood, the cashmere wood. It has enough of spiciness and a little bit of depth from, like I said, from like being lactonic. Just, it really does just fall into so many different categories, and it's such a strange scent. Like I said, probably one of the more unique fragrances that I have. And it's, like I said, it's just, it's kind of mind-boggling to me exactly where my stand is on this one. But I'm gonna go ahead and say the bottle, a 9 out of 10 for me. Sillage, a 4 out of 10. It's not the best sillage. The lasting power, I would give about a 6 out of 10. But the fragrance itself and the uniqueness, definitely like a 9 out of 10. It's cozy, it's comforting, it's soft. It's not loud, it's not obnoxious, it's not super attention grabbing. But similar to how Versace Crystal Noir is, where it's clean but spicy and mysterious and edgy, but a little bit light, a little bit creamy. That's almost the same exact family that I would put these two in. They're not sisters, they're not dupes for each other whatsoever. But just the fact that they are so very clean, very bright, but also dark, very creamy, but also woody, just unique. These are definitely those type of fragrances. Now, Crystal Noir is way more projecting than this one is to me. But even right now, like, I can, just having my arm down on my lap, I can definitely smell it. Definitely like arm's length away, I can smell it. So it's not like it's horrible projection whatsoever. Like I said, I've worn this the last few days, the last couple of days, just so I can kind of gather my thoughts on it, really get to know it a little better, let it sit. I'm gonna let it sit for a little bit longer, and if my opinion changes at all, I can definitely update you guys. Is this worth it? I believe I paid like $66 on Amazon. Is it worth it? Absolutely. This is not really a cheap, what I would consider cheap. I consider cheap like $30 and under. This is kind of medium range for me. So if you have $66 to spend and you want something unique, lactonic, creamy, woody, little bit of like chestnut in there, so it's just a little bit, like I said, deeper. This is perfect for you. I would almost go as far to say that it could definitely be considered unisex because it's not super feminine, but it's definitely not masculine. It's very much so worth it. I 100% stand behind this. I recommend it. I love it. Like I said, it's probably one of the most unique ones that I have in my entire collection for only $66. So you don't need to spend niche money. You don't need to spend $300-400 to smell unique and mysterious. If you guys like this type of video, or if there's any others that you would like for me to review single-handedly, just on its own, definitely leave those in the comments down below. If I have them, I will absolutely review them because these are pretty fun to make. It's definitely fun to get my thoughts together on it, and it just kind of opens up a new spectrum on figuring out like what notes I can pick up on, paying attention to how long it lasts, finding out when it was made, the perfumers, the reason behind the fragrance, things like that is just so much fun to me because it's just like learning something new. So please let me know in the comments down below if you guys have a fragrance that you want me to review, if you want me to get my hands on a few new ones, or if I already have them, I will absolutely review them for you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like this video or dislike it. Both help so much. Leave a comment down below and make sure you're subscribed. I hope you have an amazing day, and I love you guys.